found a locked folder on my dad's computer after he died. What was inside destroyed my relationship with my mother. He died in his sleep. No warning, no build-up, no long illness to prepare us, just didn't wake up on a Tuesday morning. The coroner said heart failure. I was 32. My mom called me at 5:17 a.m., crying so hard I couldn't understand her words. I heard the ambulance in the background. I heard her whisper, "He's cold," like she didn't believe it. We buried him on Saturday. A week later, I drove back to help clean out his office. Old books, bad cables, enough paperwork to drown in. My mom kept saying she couldn't handle going through it alone. I told her I'd handle the tech, sort through his computer, backups, external drives. He always hoarded information, passwords on sticky notes, random PDFs of tax documents, lecture recordings, slide decks from when he taught college classes before I was born. It was half boring, half depressing, like watching someone's life become irrelevant in real time. His laptop was locked, no password left behind, but I guessed it. My birthday. That's all it took. It opened into a plain desktop, 2 folders, and a clean browser. The folders were labeled exactly like this: Taxes 2019-2023, 10/25/91. That second one is my birthday. The folder was locked. It had a password prompt. Not a biometric or fancy encryption, just a password field. I tried everything I could think of. Pet names, my mom's name, his own name. Nothing worked. I gave up that night but didn't stop thinking about it. 2 days later, I found a sticky note in an old hard drive box in his closet. It said, "For R if she ever needs it." R. It was underlined twice. And below that was a series of numbers and punctuation marks, not words. A string I never would have guessed. I typed it in. The folder opened. Inside were 6 subfolders and 3 video files. I opened the first folder. It was titled Sessions. I thought it was lectures or maybe counseling notes from his university days. But the videos were old, grainy, clearly taken in someone's home, our home. I recognized the wallpaper, the couch, the curtains my mom used to love before they remodeled in 2004. The timestamp said 1999. I was 8. In the first video, I'm sitting between them, my parents. A woman is speaking off camera, calm voice, professional. My dad nods. My mom keeps her arms crossed. I look uncomfortable. I'm rocking slightly, biting my nail. She's telling me to stop. The therapist says, "Let her regulate on her own." My mom snaps, "She'll never regulate anything unless someone teaches her how to behave." My dad doesn't say anything, just watches. I don't remember this, not 1 second of it. Not the woman's voice, not the sessions, nothing. There were 15 videos in that folder, all therapy sessions from that same year. Me, them, the woman, the arguments, the language. It was always me who was the problem. My mom saying I was too sensitive, that I made things up, that I dramatized everything for attention, that I cried when I didn't get my way. In one clip, I say very softly that someone came into my room at night and touched me. She interrupts me mid-sentence. She's always had nightmares, always blames people when she's scared. I kept watching. There was no follow-up, no reaction from the therapist, just redirecting. I checked the next folder, labeled Med Logs. It was full of scanned documents. Prescriptions, appointment notes, pediatrician letters. I'd been medicated for behavioral issues from ages 6 to 11. I'd never known that. I thought I'd taken antibiotics, maybe allergy meds. But this was different. Anti-anxiety, antidepressants, sleep meds. Some of them weren't even FDA approved for children back then. Some were literally off-label experiments. My dad had made notes in the margins, monitoring reactions, adjusting doses, trying different doctors when the last ones raised concerns. I'd never seen any of this, never been told. I was a drugged child in therapy I don't remember, and I had no idea. I opened the third folder, labeled Reconstruction. Inside was a document, long, 63 pages. It was co-written by my parents, literally. My dad's voice in blue, my mom's in red. They were mapping out how to shape my memory. They talked about erasing the night terrors. They listed narratives to reinforce. They even had a section titled Emergency Explanations, which included suggested lines if I ever started to ask too many questions. One of them read, "We didn't want to scare you. You were too young to understand what really happened." They wrote about me like I was a project, a liability, a performance that needed correcting. The final 3 video files were dated 2012, 2015, and 2018. In the first one, my dad is recording himself. He looks tired. Gray hair, sunken eyes. He says, "I don't know if she'll ever find this. If you do, I'm sorry. I tried to fix what your mother broke, but I was part of it too. I was weak. I let her lead. I didn't protect you. I just documented. I paused the video, sat there for a full hour without moving. Then I clicked the next one. He's crying. Same desk I'm sitting at now. Says my mom lied to both of us. Says there was someone else. Someone who shouldn't have been in the house. And that she convinced me over years that I dreamed it, that I imagined it, that it never happened. He says I remembered once, at 9, then again at 13, that both times she reset me. He says, I think you always knew, but I helped bury it. I didn't watch the last file. I closed the laptop, took the hard drive, put it in my purse. I haven't spoken to my mother since. She keeps texting, when are you coming back to help? I reply, busy, work, soon. But I'm not coming back. I'm not ready to confront her, but I know what I'm going to do. I didn't go back to the house. I avoided every invitation, every guilt text, every passive-aggressive hint that your mother needs you right now. She didn't need me. She needed the version of me she'd built, the obedient one, the one who never asked why things felt off, the one who accepted stories without asking who was telling them. The laptop sat on my desk for a week before I opened it again. I watched the last video. He looked sick. Paler than the other two? He said my name once, clearly, carefully, and looked straight into the lens like he knew what it meant to speak when you're out of time. He said, I think you always remembered, in flashes, but I also know she trained you not to trust those flashes. He said, if you're seeing this, I'm gone, so I'll tell you everything. Then he told me about the night I screamed and locked myself in my closet. I was 6. I vaguely remembered that night, shadows and noise and someone holding me too tight, but I thought it had been a nightmare. I'd been told it was a nightmare. He said it wasn't. He said it happened again, a year later, that he confronted her, that she denied everything, that she made appointments and told doctors I was unstable, that she cried on cue, said I was broken and she didn't know how to fix me. He said he believed her. At first, then he didn't. And by then it was too late. Too many pills. Too many narratives reinforced. So he started documenting. The folder wasn't revenge, it was a time capsule, a map out of a lie. He ended with, if you want peace, don't try to get her to confess. She won't, she can't, but you can take the truth back. Quietly, entirely, it's yours now. I didn't cry. I just sat there, and I understood something very clearly. If I confronted her, she'd win. She'd cry. She'd twist it. She'd say, you've been under a lot of stress, or that never happened, or I don't know why he put those ideas in your head. She'd survive it the way she always did, and I'd be back at 0. So I didn't call her. I started pulling records, school files, health history, therapy notes. I filed requests. I called clinics. I said I needed my childhood medical history for insurance reasons. Some of it was hard to get. Some came faster than expected. The paper trail matched the videos. Multiple prescriptions under different pediatricians. Notes about nonverbal distress, chronic fatigue, sleep disruption, but no follow-up on the original cause. Just treatment, just management, just silence. There was a note in one file that said, mother is insistent, patient's memory is highly imaginative. Father agrees. That's what they always said, until he stopped. I found one therapist, the one from the videos. She was still practicing under a different name. I emailed her, said I was looking into past treatment. She replied politely, professional, said she couldn't give me much without parental consent due to my age at the time. But then she wrote, your father once asked me off the record what I thought was really going on. I didn't answer him. I should have. That was enough. I started cataloging. A mirror folder on a drive. Labeled everything by year. Labeled contradictions. Created my own document. Blue text for his voice. Red text for hers. Black text for mine. I started remembering things. Not like movie scenes, more like edges. Smells. Texture. The way the carpet in my childhood room felt under my knees the night I hid. The way the light from the hallway looked under the door. The pattern of my pajamas. The sound of the doorknob. I remembered sitting on my mother's lap and her telling me, it's all in your head. Don't say that again. It makes people worry. That was her trick. Wrap control in care. Choke you gently. It worked. For years. I don't know if I was her victim or her invention. I don't even know what she believes anymore. That's the part that makes it hard to breathe. The possibility that she lied so well. She forgot it was a lie. But I didn't forget. I called the storage unit where we kept old things after the last move. Asked if she still had access. She did. I revoked it. I paid the fee. I changed the lock. I found 3 boxes labeled School Records R. Inside, copies of report cards, awards, some photos, and at the very bottom, a folder, no label, tied with a ribbon. Inside, I found pages from the original therapist. Notes. Handwritten, not scanned, private. One line said, patient displays fear toward maternal figure, possibly trauma-linked. Recommend observation with third-party presence. It was dated 3 months before I stopped seeing her. 3 months before my mother switched providers. She never told me. Never told anyone. She buried the warning and then rewrote me from scratch. So I did something I never thought I'd do. I wrote her a letter. Not an attack, not a confession, just a statement. I wrote, I found what you kept hidden. I remember more than you think. I'm not afraid anymore. I'm not confused anymore. I won't confront you, but I see you. I left it unsigned. No return address, no confrontation, just the truth. Mailed it from a city she's never been to. And then I booked a session with a therapist of my own. Not to recover memories, not to fix anything, just to speak them out loud to someone who won't interrupt. I still haven't blocked her number. She texts sometimes. Smiley faces. Miss you. Hope you're okay. That passive passive, glossy tone she always used, the one that said nothing's wrong unless you say it is. I leave them unread because I know she watches the silence now, and that's enough. I spent the first half of my life trying to be good. Good daughter, good student, good version of what my mother said I used to be. I never questioned the script. If I cried, I apologized. If I forgot something, I blamed myself. If I panicked, I said I was tired. Even after I moved out, I still kept performing. Phone calls, holiday smiles, biting my tongue when the memory of that locked closet came back out of nowhere and made my chest close up like a vice. After I sent that letter, something shifted. She didn't acknowledge it directly, but she knew. I could tell. The text came less often, shorter, more careful, like she could feel the thread stretching thinner, like she sensed I had stopped needing answers and started drawing lines. I didn't reply to any of them, but I read them all, not for connection, for data. She still wrote like a mother, still used hearts, still ended sentences with "sweetie" like I was 5. But there was tension in the patterns. Less control, less confidence. She was used to me being the confused one. Now she was writing to someone she couldn't read. I didn't want revenge. I didn't want confrontation. I wanted to make it impossible for her version of me to keep existing. So I did one final thing. There's a private elementary school 2 blocks from the house I grew up in. Same place I went. Same teacher still on staff. Same counselor listed on the website. The one who gave me stickers when I had panic attacks and called them special quiet days. I never knew what she was writing in those logs. Never knew if she saw what my mother was doing or just smiled through it like the rest of them. I printed the therapist's old notes, the ones I found in the ribbon folder. I included a list of prescriptions. I attached a letter, not accusatory, just informative. I explained who I was, what I found, what happened, and how many adults, including that school, helped shape the idea that I was just sensitive. I sent copies to the counselor, the principal, and the district superintendent. Not to reopen anything, just to leave a record, because I'm done being erased. I also updated my name, legally, not because I hated my last name, but because it was hers. Every time I signed it, I felt like I was still part of her script. Now I have a name she didn't give me, a version of myself she never built, and I made sure she'd see it. I mailed her a final envelope. No note, no message, just a printed copy of the legal name change certificate. The signature line said everything it needed to say. I never blocked her number. I just let the space between us grow too wide to cross. She texted once more, one sentence. "I don't understand why you're doing this." I didn't respond, because that sentence, that exact sentence, that was the last line of her red text in the reconstruction document my dad left behind. Page 63, final bullet point. If she remembers, say, "I don't understand why you're doing this." It wasn't real confusion. It was a line, a script. She's still reading from it. I'm not. I won't ever again. She can live in her story. I'm finally living in mine.